you can find out because what does it say on the deed?
Probably the name of a foundation or something.
You get the game. Okay. You get the game.
Of
So,
course, hey, I'm a lawyer, man. Of course, I get
so,
the
so
game.
you could prove it either in that way.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so basically you have the two families. One, the Julia's family, which is Amanda and Clay. They rent out a luxurious home outside of the city just to stay there for the weekend. And you have the well off G.A. Scotch millionaire broker, or whatever he does, something like that, who owns multiple homes in the city, one outside of it, which is the one he rented out, and one in the city center. His wife is a art dealer who was in Morocco doing some art and was flying back that same day. What it basically boils down to is that I think they arrived there on Friday, seems like, not mistaken, and basically there was a blackout, and GH Scott, without notifying Amanda and Clay, just pop up on the in front of front on, at their home.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there was kind of a friction there. They didn't totally believe GH Scott is a.
Belong there.
Sounds like something. Yeah, that part was crazy, to be honest. But yeah,
Yeah, so you had a so it's leave the world behind. I think I said it wrong a couple of I might have
actually,
said it wrong.
I say leave it all behind the whole time, but it's leave it.
Leave the world behind. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I also called it that. But in any case, yeah, as you said, so GH Scott knocks on the door and Julia Roberts opens up, of course, not as Julia Roberts, of course, but she opens up. There you have in the house, a very beautiful house, modern house. Clearly, it's like a vacation house, um, from someone that earns a lot of money, very comfortable, and they're there with the family, as you said, KR. The knock, someone knocks. They open the door at night. Um, two strangers, and
there's
then
two black people.
two
That's
black
all.
people. Yeah, in that neighborhood, they didn't say it, but that was one of the various, or at least, so late. So the daughter felt that it was because they were black, that Julia Roberts and her family were, or at least Julia Roberts specifically.
Amanda. Let's call her Amanda.
Yeah, well then Amanda, yeah, okay, it's not Julia Roberts. That Amanda was treating her as was treating them differently, as if they didn't believe that the house belonged to them. And yeah, when they get but you can see that the GH Scott didn't tell everything, because he was also being cryptic. Yeah, we were in the neighborhood, and yeah, we just heard that there's an outage. We came here. We were wondering if we can stay here. And of course, for the family, I mean, if you rent a house and then the owner comes and say, "Hey, can we stay downstairs?" It's a bit weird, especially if you rented it only for your family.
Yeah, but I have to say one thing. I want to skip back a little bit. One thing that was really interesting are the racial undertones that were at the beginning of the movie.
At the
Um,
beginning.
at the beginning, yes, at the beginning there was a lot of when they arrived. Basically, I think the first half of the movie had a lot of those racial undertones to them. basically um, uh, 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 Julia not believing that it's their house, calling them housekeeper maybe or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
in addition, also um, co- this one I thought was a funny line.
Let me see.
Our home, when she was suggesting that they come to our home because they rented it while it was GA Scotch property. So it seems like they were choosing it was less racial the rest of the movie, but at the beginning when they arrived, it was very like we don't trust them because they could they it's impossible, or they could be that it's not their home. And later on during the movie, that waned off a little bit because they started to look past. And I think that's the transition of the movie. It started racially, a lot of racial undertones, but then it seemed like they got to understand each other, know who they are, and then it basically moved from that phase.
Yeah, because they gradually proved that they were the owner. But KR, the thing is, I don't want to. There might have been indeed racial undertones, but at the same time, if someone comes knocking at your door at midnight, even if it's a white person, it's like it's midnight. I don't know you. I'm not sure if I would have let you come in. The dude didn't even have his ID. Oh, I must have forgotten it. So, I'd rather be called prejudice, or at least act, let's say, out of prejudice to protect
No,
the family,
I do agree with you, but
instead
don't
of
you the,
instead of saying, "Oh, I don't want to."
remember
I
where BLM, under which president BLM became prevalent. So
That's
that's
true.
why I think, I mean, they were
Yeah,
also
but
producers of this.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But the one thing is also that's true because it's it was them. So the 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 height of the racial undertone, just to finish that, because of course in the you could see in the movie that the daughter of the GH Scott was the one who felt, um and that's Ruth, right? So
yeah.
Ruth felt that she was being that they were being treated like that because of the color of their skin,
Hmm.
right? While the father, uh, GH Scott, played by Marshala Ali, he was more, of course, wise and understands that maybe it's more complicated than that, because in essence it is complicated. But the height, I don't know if you remember this, KR, was when Amanda, played by Julia, was arguing with Ruth, the daughter of GH Scott, and Amanda said, "You think you know everything, don't you?" And then Ruth said, and that's the of course the black daughter, right, of GH Scott. Isn't that calling the cattle? Isn't that the pot calling the cattle black?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
yo, yeah, that was like the height. And after that tension, the I think it's not only race, but they could gradually prove that they were the owners. They knew where the
Actually,
records were.
but I think they already proved at that point that they were the
Yeah,
owner.
they at least proof they've convinced them.
Yeah.
They've convinced them. Yeah. But at some point, because of course we're a bit forward now, uh, to be honest, we never found out for certain whether they're the owners or not, or at least no. Let me put it like this: we found out for certain because we could see, so because of the movie. But Amanda and the family. did not get that certainty, because the only way you can get a certainty is by means of a deed. So they believe.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think
Pull out a deed.
I know that they wouldn't.
I'll tell you.
I
I'll tell
I
you
know
how.
that they wouldn't, but I'm saying um it's only because the outside challenges became bigger than the inside challenges. The outside threats became bigger than the inside threat, and actually the inside threat wasn't a threat at all, because they could see that, they treated them nicely. But the only way, KR, I'm a lawyer. The only way to prove for certain is
No one
by
pulls
means of
out
a
a
deed.
deed. Come
Hey,
on. Who
hey,
wants with a deed in their pocket?
nobody, but that's the only way you can find out whether someone's the real owner. Yes or no.
Well, you can find out because what does it say on the deed?
Probably the name of a foundation or something.
You get the game. Okay. You get the game.
Of
Well,
course, hey, I'm a lawyer, man. Of course, I get the
so
game.
you couldn't prove it either in that way.
That's true. That's true.